one working. I was told to quit. Coaches never noticed me. That was just my motivation. To work harder than everyone else. While you were sleeping, I've already done 150 suicides. Run 3 miles. My game might not be perfect. It's a work in progress. But for every shot I make out here, it's another reason to fear me on the court. What you don't see is the hours of dedication I put in every single day of my life. What makes me is not what happens in a game, rather when no one is around. This is not a choice. This is a way of life. So just remember, when you're sleeping, I'm out here working every day to be one step ahead of everyone else.
Goes parentheses, that's what you do first, so anything in parentheses. Now you got to remember that on top of parentheses you also have brackets that are the same thing. They look like this. You always do the brackets and work your way inside. And then you have your exponents. Now you got to remember exponents mean you're multiplying the number times itself a certain amount of times. And then you have your multiplying and dividing, and then adding and subtracting. When there's more than a multiplying and a dividing, or two multiplying in the same problem, you always work left to right, kind of like you're reading a book. Same with adding and subtracting. If there's more than one addition or more than one subtracting, you add, subtract left to right. Alright, let's try a couple. 6 plus 3 times 4 minus 1 to the second. Now if you read all that, it seems very confusing, so we're going to start with parentheses. So in the first set of parentheses, all there is a 6. So there's nothing for us to do. In the second set of parentheses, however, you have 4 minus 1. Okay, so we have 4 times 6 plus 3 times, now 4 minus 1 is 3, and you leave that exponent up there. Okay, so now we have multiplying, we have adding, we have another multiplying, and we have an exponent. Well, if you go in order, exponent is next, so you need to take 3 to the second. So you have 4 times 6 plus 3 times, now 3 to the second means 3 times itself, so 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, and then you have 4 times 6 plus 3 times 9, then now there's two different multiplying, so we go left to right. So 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 times 9, which is 27. Okay, so now you add those together and you get 51. Number 1, if you look, we see parentheses. Okay, we learned how to do this last week. What you do with the 2 is you want to distribute. So you take the 2 and you times by 3x and you times by negative 4. Here's where we start making mistakes and we forget to multiply by everything. Okay, 2 times 3x is 6x and 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. We still have equals 16. Okay, now it looks like a two-step equation from yesterday. Remember, we want to get rid of the adding and subtracting first. So we add 8 to both sides. So the 8's cancel and you're left with 6x equals 16 plus 8 is 24. The 6 and the x are multiplied, so we divide by 6. When you divide by 6, you get x equals 4. 4x plus 6 over 2 equals 11. We did one of these yesterday. Okay, we got to remember, if the whole thing is a fraction, that means the top is kind of like in parentheses. Okay, so what do we need to get rid of first then? The 2. Okay, and the 2 is divided, so to move it to the other side, we would do the opposite of that, which is timesing by 2. Okay, 2 times 2 and multiplied and divided by 2 cancels. So we're just left with 4x plus 6 on this side. On the other side, 11 times 2 is 22. And then now, after one step, it looks like a two-step equation. So we need to get rid of the 6 first. So subtract 6 from both sides. Okay, you have 4x equals 22 minus 6, which is 16. Okay, divide both sides by 4. And you get x equals 4. 3n minus 5 equals 7n plus 11. Okay, so I still find my equal sign like I was. And now I have to get my variables to one side or the other. Because they're on different sides, I cannot combine like terms. Okay, so I need to move them to one side or the other. So what I like to do is figure out where are they bigger. Okay, so they're bigger on the right side, so I'm going to move my variables to the right side. So how could I move this 3n over to the right side? Well, it's positive, so I would need to subtract 3n. Okay, subtract 3n. We need to make sure we are combining like terms correctly. So the n's can only go with the n's, the numbers can go with the numbers. Okay, 3n minus 3n goes away, and you're left with negative 5 equals 7n minus 3n makes 4n plus 11. Now that I put my variables to the right side, I need to move my numbers to the left side. So this 11 over here is positive, so we need to subtract it from this negative 5. And negative 5 minus 11 is negative 16, so we get that equal to 4n. The 4 and the n are multiplying, so we need to divide by 4. Okay, so those go away and you get n equals negative 4. Okay, so that's your first variable on both sides problem. Let's try another one. G plus 4 times negative 5 plus 3g equals 1 minus g. Okay, so on the left side of the equal sign, okay, you have a distributing problem. So 4 times negative 5 and 4 times 3g. You just keep this other 5g out front. So 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And 4 times 3g is positive 12g. And that equals 1 minus g. Okay, on the left side, now I see I have two different sets of g's, so I can put those together. Since they're on the same side of the equal sign, I don't need to do inverse operations. I can just combine them. So you have positive 5g and positive 12g, which makes 17g minus 20 equals 1 minus g. Okay, now I have more g's on the left side, so I'm going to add this g. It's like adding a 1g. Okay, these cancel. So we have 18g minus 20 equals 1. Okay, now to move that 20, I add it to both sides. So I'm going to put it over here. I get 18g equals 21. Now the 18 and the g are multiplied, so we divide by 18. Now 21 does not divide by 18, but is there anything that goes into both? So we can simplify this. A 3. So this can actually be simplified if I divide top and bottom by 3 to 7/6. And that's my answer. Look at this. It is a fraction equal to a fraction. However, on the left side, it's not just one number. So what I like to do is put parentheses around both of these. Okay, they're one thing, but it's at the top of a fraction and the bottom. So now when I'm cross multiplying, I'm taking 3 times that whole thing, x plus 1. Okay, and on the other side, I'm taking 2 times x minus 2. Okay, so since I have them in parentheses, it looks normal. It looks like yesterday's stuff because we can distribute. Okay, so we're taking 3 times x, which is 3x, and 3 times 1, which is 3. I've seen a lot of people missing that part. You got to make sure you distribute to everything, okay? On the other side, you have 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. Okay, now we have variables on both sides, so I got to get my x's together. Okay, so if I want to move this 2x, since it's positive, we're going to subtract it from both sides. Okay, so 3x minus 2x is x plus 3 equals, these are gone, so negative 4. Okay, how am I going to get x by itself now? Well, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. Okay, those are gone, you get x equals negative 7. Okay. This next one wants me to go from 84 ounces to cups. So I need to figure out how many ounces are in a cup. So I go back to my reference sheet and I see that 8 ounces equals 1 cup. Okay, so 8 ounces equals 1 cup, so that's the conversion that I'm going to use. Okay, so I start with my 84 ounces and I multiply by a fraction. It's always how you start it. Now ounces on top, so I need to put ounces on the bottom, so that way they cancel. And my cups have to go on top. Okay, the 8 goes with the ounces, the 1 goes with the cups. Alright, so now if I do this, my ounces are going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with cups, which is what I want. Okay, it needs to match that. So now if you look, you take 84 times, now 1 is on top, so 84 times 1 divided by 8. So in your calculator, you can take 84 times 1 and then divide by 8, and you'll get 10.5. Okay, so 84 ounces equals 10.5 cups.